C-Pop Insider magazine, and we have an exclusive interview today with Goddard, artist, designer, and founder of Winery MAs. Make sure you guys tune in. Now let's get right into these costumes because they look gorgeous. Yes. Go over your process with me of
Absolutely.
What brings you life to each and every one, like individually.
Yeah, and the process is for me, and I'm sure it's different for every designer, right? I learned this myself. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have anyone to show me how to do this. So these costumes, I actually today I brought 3 different types to show you what we had going on. I usually start with the fabric.
Yes.
So the fabric because the fabric is what's available to me. It's my palette, right?
Right.
So normally I'll have the fabric from the company that's available, and I'll say, okay, I want the gems to match the fabric. So I'll lay out a bunch of gems. I'll decide this is how the applique is going to look with the gems. And then from there, I'll start to build out how this costume is going to be shaped on the female body. Right? So these costumes were from about a year ago. It was from a body of work that honored a traditional concept in Carnival called Birds of Paradise. It's been a concept that's been done many times in Carnival, and I thought it would be really nice to bring that to Hollywood. So this was a parakeet concept, this was a flamingo concept, and ideally what I was really doing is I was trying to cover certain parts of the body while making it sexy and showing a little bit of skin. And this is fully blinged out, full of gems. And of course, we've got the tradition of these feathers that are with it as well. And this year in 2025, what I tried to do was I was thinking about production a lot because we have a very large band here in Hollywood, and I'm not gluing these at home. I don't have a team of people putting together production. I actually tried to figure out how to develop a production team here in Los Angeles and create everything here.
That's right.
Which meant that I had to think about certain parts of the process with these pieces. Normally, a designer and a company would take this out to China, or they would create it in the Caribbean in one of the islands, and they have their own production houses. But here in LA, it's not really done. So I thought, I just want to push the boundary lines a bit and just experiment as a visual artist. So instead of doing wings, I decided to do laser cutting glitter foam for the wings, right? So instead of feathers here, this is all glitter foam, and it still has the aesthetic and the composition of what the wings traditionally have. But because the glitter kind of has this shimmer, and this year our theme was a cyber soca, just like a technological vibe, I thought that laser cutting would be a really cool thing to experiment with. And people ended up really loving it. And even the wireframe itself was laser cut with a factory out here. And I designed that very specifically so that I could start to manufacture if I needed to manufacture. That was really important to me.
Yes.
Just to kind of like push the envelope for myself and see what I could do outside the boundary lines of the traditional feathers and gems and so on.
And the detail is just amazing.
Thank you.
I'm loving the fabric on this one, and then just the color schemes itself. It's just definitely giving that pop, like I'm here. It's just giving sun to me.
Yes.
And this one as well. I love the fabric on this one.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and the women, they end up on the road. This is a very special moment for them, right? They get a chance to come out. If you have a family and a group of you that come out, let's say 6 deep,
right?
You've got, the aesthetic of having 6 of the same women in costume, being part of a section that is themed. It is such an experience, and it really takes it to another level, which is, what the tradition is in the Caribbean, right? So I'm basically honoring that in the way everything goes. And of course, they're all color coordinated. All the colors are put together very specifically according to a theme of the year.
Beautifully done.
So that's the process. Thank you.
Beautifully done. Do you see yourself taking this globally?
No, I don't see Winery MAs going globally. I mean, this is a territorial business, a territory business just for Southern California. A lot of people have asked me if I want to go into other carnivals like Trinidad or Miami or Toronto or Atlanta, you know, there are a lot. There's about 52 to 60 different carnivals around the world every year, right? So you can go to carnival every month if you wanted to. But I honor the concept of Winery MAs being a family here in Hollywood. And I'd like to keep it like that. I don't think, you know, it would thrive in the way I want it to thrive globally, because it is a really tight-knit special family out here.
Right. You can't check on your cousin.
Right.
If they're all the way over there, you know?
Yes. And, you know, it certainly can be done. I could sell costumes globally and so on, and that would be fun. I am in the process of creating a production line for Winery MAs so that costumes and garments can be sold outside of the Hollywood Carnival season. Right. So throughout the year, people will be able to purchase costumes and will be able to purchase event outfits through Winery MAs globally. So that is something, if you were to call it expanding, that is a form of expansion in terms of the business, but that's not carnival. That's just for the business and to honor the individuals who really, you know, they may want something to purchase, right? Outside of carnival. But
how can they tap into you to find that?
Well, that's on winerymas.com. We'll be selling the costumes and the outfits off season as well. But because the spirit of winery is family oriented, I have a connection to other leaders around the world who are doing carnival. Right. So for example, globally, there's a Vienna Carnival that people don't know about, right? This is a carnival all the way outside on the other side of the world. Some of my friends out there that I met in Trinidad, they honor the culture by having their own carnival out there, and it is incredible. Even in Japan, they are putting together their own carnival,
I would love to see that.
And it is, you know, they are trying to make it as authentic as possible. And so globally, we have a network that is thriving, that is special. And if anything, in terms of being connected and expanding globally, it's really more about expanding the network and showing love to the other people in the global network that I have and we have within the Winery MAs family here. So not necessarily business-wise, you won't find, you know, Winery MAs in Dubai or some crazy like Spain. However, without a doubt, our people are everywhere, and we'll be selling the costumes. Yeah.
For sure. For sure. I love that. What message do you hope participants take away when they are joining Winery MAs? Right.
So it's not necessarily a message more than it's a feeling. Right? More than it's an experience, right? Because they can walk away with a specific message in mind, which might be like, oh, that was so much fun, or this was a really free time, and so on. But the power of the experience of carnival is irreplaceable. And if anybody who's been to this thing will tell you, they will tell you that this is an experience that you can't really duplicate outside of the environment. Right? This is something that you literally have to come and enjoy on your own, and Winery MAs exists to honor the tradition of the experience of carnival. So as some people step away from the experience, what I'm hoping is that they say, wow, that was the real deal. That felt like home. That was a taste of the Mecca in the Caribbean, right?
That's right.
That was a taste of the big show, because we'll never be able to duplicate the big show. We don't want to duplicate the big show.
That's right.
What we want to do is kind of give you a little, kind of like if there's a Trini restaurant in Los Angeles, you got a little taste of roti.
That's right.
You got some, you know, some doubles. You know it's not going to be doubles from Trinidad.
Right.
But you still appreciate and you know the good doubles when you taste it.
That's right.
The same thing with the experience in this diaspora. You know a great authentic experience when you experience it. And Winery MAs, the hope here is the family and the spirit of our people will bring you in as if you right back home, and they showing the same type of love. Right? That's what this is about, and that's what I'm hoping people will walk away with this. Yeah.
I see more people than not. Every time, if their first time, second time, first time maybe in Hollywood. Like I had a friend who went in, she's a beautiful girl, you know, us girls, we could care about her appearance. She came out sweaty and just like, but she's like, the Caribbean has my heart. Sweaty hair, a mess, makeup, but she was just having a ball. You wouldn't even be able to tell.
Right.
Whole
she
different
was
girl.
converted.
Yes. Exactly. So it's definitely a place you can call home, and it definitely does leave you with a vibe. vibe, you know?
Absolutely.
It leaves you with family, it leaves you with spirit. It
Yes.
definitely leaves you with an appreciation for the Caribbean culture.
Absolutely. And the thing about Carnival is you can make it your own. Whether you are out, just like any event, right? You're out there with your friends, you can go all the way to 100, or you could just fall back and people watch. And one of the things about Carnival is that most of the people in this diaspora, when they're in their elements, they're not looking outside. They could care less what people think.
That's right.
They're having fun right here with themselves and their family, and that's that.
That's right.
So when people embrace the truest intention of that authentic free up, then they walk away with a really, really dynamic experience. And that's what's special about Carnival. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Where do you see, what do you expect from Winery MAs this upcoming Carnival season?
Well, in terms of what? In terms of the business, or where do you?
Just what can we expect? Is it
Okay.
is it same season as usual, or are we popping out with anything new?
Yeah,
What is
we
this?
are actually. We're doing some really incredible. So, of course, we're doing the Hollywood Carnival June 21st. That's going to be a vibe, right? However, this year we have done a really, really great collaboration with the Hollywood Carnival itself. Okay. So, Winery MAS, after the Carnival, so the Carnival usually goes from 10:30 a.m. up until about 2 or 3 p.m., right? Immediately after the Carnival, we're going to stay on Hollywood Boulevard.
That's
and
right.
we're going to go into one of the spots in Hollywood called Mr. Tempo.
Okay.
And we're going to go in there in costume. It's kind of like they're going to have a dance floor.
Ooh.
They're going to have Caribbean food trucks, and we're just going to turn up in that place till 8 p.m. So normally every year there's a carnival village and there's like performances and all that, but they're saving something special for next year, and they're not doing the carnival village this year.
Okay.
So instead we're having this event after the carnival, immediately after the carnival, and that's completely unique to what the tradition has been in Hollywood. So that's something we're all looking forward to. It's going to be a really, really fun time.
I'm excited. I'll be tuned in.
Right. So
there.
the point of it too is the vibes won't stop. Normally you have the carnival, you're jumping up all day, and then you go and you kind of like, there's a lull, and some people are like, man, I didn't really have enough vibes. I need more vibes. I needed more, we could have went all night
Right,
today.
like we just warmed up.
Right, we just warming up, and it's like 4 p.m. Come on, we ready to go more. So this time, we ready to go, right? We're gonna continue it on. And that is something that I'm really looking forward to this year.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Vibes
as
can't stop.
well.
Vibes can't
It
stop.
can't stop. So, what legacy do you hope to leave through your work?
Authenticity is really, if anything, the most important thing to me. And what that really means to me is, was I creating from my creative spirit in a way that was true to my voice and true to what I believe was me, right? So, and honestly, that has less to do with legacy, because I'm not thinking about legacy because I don't really believe, if I'm being honest, legacy is kind of like too rooted in pride and ego, right? Legacy is all about, me stroking my own, me thinking I'm something that is larger than life. And, people create legacies when they are truly immersed in something that they do well. And the truth is, I do me well. Meaning I can only be myself, and if I tap into my own spirit and my own voice and what makes me who I am, then I don't have to try to mold a brand. I don't have to try to mold what would be, for lack of a better words, a legacy, because whatever is being created is being created, and I'm having fun on my own.
That's right.
Right? So I'm not really interested in a legacy per se. What I'm interested in, though, is creating work and being creative in a way that contributes to, number one, my experience, the experience of my brothers and sisters in this time period right now. I'm hoping that they either have fun or they see an artwork that moves them or that is important. And also, what's been important to me as a visual artist is trying to figure out how to create artwork that contributes to the conversation in art history.
Right.
So I'm always seeking, I am trying to create a deep knowledge for myself of and an understanding of my predecessors and how the art conversations have gone. and try to build upon those narratives and those conversations, right?
Right.
It's everybody's responsibility in history to contribute, whether you are innovating in tech, whether you are a politician. And by the way, Winery MAS, the reason why we call it winery is because we wine and
Demonstration?
wine. You guys know how to wine? She knows how to wine. This is called whining, right? And whining is you're winding up your waist.
That's
so
right.
it's not necessarily wine, the drink, for those who are curious, right? The dance in the Caribbean called whining is something that, you know, your body naturally just moves. And it has become a whole little phenomena within the Caribbean.
That's right.
And I created this word or this name, Winery MAS, off of the idea of that. And I love
it.
I love the dichotomy of the word wine or winery.
Yes.
Because wine in American culture, it's classy, right? It's like wine and cheese, pinky up.
That's right.
And then with our people, we're just like turn up, we are free. It is not bougie at all.
No.
It can be bougie,
right?
But ultimately you've got these two flip sides of being very, very uppity versus being very, very down to earth, and we could care less about what you think about us. And I love that contrast.
Yes.
And I think it's so important, and our people are like that.
Yes.
In the diaspora, many of our people are very, very proud, very classy, very even conservative, right? Like we've got a community of people who value our culture and ourselves in a very high regard. So we've got that contrast there with also a community of people who they shut down the whole nation for about 2 days, 3 days, and the nation is partying for a month, and they're turning up and having a great time. And it's for some people wildness and a great time where they're just freeing up. And there's that other side of it. So I created Winery MAS and the word Winery MAS and the name Winery MAS to kind of like have a nice play on words, a little pun with it. But to get back to the conversation, my buddies came out. They didn't want to take their shirts off. They didn't want to whine. They didn't want to, approach
like, what
nobody.
Did we just walk into?
They were just, they were just like, this is a whole lot. Hold on.
Grab yourself a drink, get some food, and join in.
I said, just take your time, don't worry. And then slowly but surely, within an hour,
it was it.
Flags were up, right? They were jumping up, they had a great time. And I created little monsters, little whining machines. They were winding up, And that was such an amazing experience for me.
I'm sure the community adopted them like that.
Oh, big time. Everybody loves them,
like,
right?
come on.
Yeah, and every time they see them, they're like, oh, come, they give them big hugs because our community is very inclusive. Right. So to be able to see that inclusivity and to see my friends who knew nothing about this precious gem of Carnival, and for them to embrace my culture was one of the most precious gifts that I've ever had with Carnival, and that's really what it's about.
Yes.
Right? So
community and family.
Yes.
Community and family.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for your time today. This was an amazing interview, and I loved all of your answers.
Thank you.
And then I just hope to give all the light that you deserve to give. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you so much.
On behalf of C-Pop Insider Magazine, we appreciate you. And anything else you want to drop? Give them a drop real quick.
That's it. Come represent with us with Winery MAS on June 21st, 2025. It's going to be a whole week of celebrations, by the way. So it starts on Thursday, June 19th, and we go to Sunday, June 22nd. There are 8 events on this whole Carnival weekend. And it's from classy events where you're coming up and dressing in all white, all the way to a juve where we come out in old clothes and it's paint and powder and wet water. It's a vibe. So come check it out. Check out HollywoodCarnival.com to get your tickets. And we do have a few extra costumes. So check out winerymas.com for costumes for Carnival. And of course, outside of Carnival season, winerymas.com has costumes for any time you want. Okay, God bless. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Claudia and C-Pop.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that is Graham, founder of Winery MAS, and this is the C-Pop Insider Magazine. Make sure you guys stay tuned.